Okay then. So now let's move on to the travel updates as well. As I'm saying, it is a very packed morning and therefore we're going to crack on.
Check it out.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Okay, so keep your eyes on the roads. Keep your eyes on the roads. I'll keep you navigated. I promise I'll be on the Starr Radio UK travel update that comes to where every weekday from 10:40 coming at 10:50 today. So, on the travel this morning, on the underground, there are minor delays between Moore Park and Watford, Amersham and Chesham due to train cancellation.
Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally. Gbogbo gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjádò àgbáláyé láti wá darapọ̀ fún ìfẹ̀hónúhàn ọjọ́ kan láti kéde àtìlẹ́yìn fún olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho. Òòṣà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀kílẹ̀. Akọni ògúnnágbòǹgbò tí dátọ́ lẹ́nu ìgbé. One day peaceful solidarity protest for Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho from illegal detention by Republic of Benin government. Tó máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ kọkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2021 ní Benin Republic Embassy tó wà ní 2124 Kulurama Road, NW, Washington DC lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ń bẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè àgbáyé la pè. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ àtúnyáyá kátúnyáyá jáde. Kákéde àtìlẹ́yìn wa fún májàsọ́lá. Tíjọba Republic of Benin ti mọ́lé lọ́nà ìtọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè fún ìtúsílẹ̀. Ká béèrè fún ìdájọ́ òdodo. Bẹ́jà bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ní pèsúrò. Ológìní bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn yóò gbọdọ̀ ọ̀yà. Akíkanjú kan ò lè dógun sẹ́. Yóò bá sẹ́ látìlẹ́yìn fún. Ọ̀pọ̀ lé sófin yagi lóko. Ọ̀pọ̀ gírí ẹsẹ̀ ní yẹ̀nà. Ọ̀pọ̀ ikán ní ìmọ̀lé. Ọ̀pọ̀ oyin ní safárá. Ọ̀pọ̀ èrò àsìmágìyàn. Ìjọ àjùmọ̀jó ní gbáyé. Kíkọ́nijó ànìkànjó kọ́ni lẹ́sẹ̀. Agbòjọ́ kì í gbàjọ́ kan tì. Olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho ọ̀jẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Ọjọ́ kan ò pọ̀jù láti fílẹ̀ fólóore wa. Ẹni tó fara rẹ̀ kalẹ̀. Láti síwájú ìjìjàngbara. Fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tuntun. Ká lè wà ní àlàáfíà. Kí ìjínigbé ó lè dàfẹ́ sẹ́yìn. Ìfipábánilòpọ̀. Ìfẹ́ranjẹko. Ìtẹ̀tọ́ ẹni mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́nà ìtọ́. Kí gbogbo ẹ̀ ó lè dópin. Ìjọ àjùmọ̀jó ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ dídùn nìkan ṣoṣo. Kọ́rọ̀ wa má dàgbé ẹni tó fajá ẹ̀dẹ̀gbẹ́ ìkookò. Tọ́wá lọ rè é dúró lókèrè tí ń wòran. Wọ́n fẹ́ pàdánù olóore rẹ̀ ní o. Àsùngbàgbé òní kàn mí. October 29, 2021 níwájú Benin Republic Embassy 2124 Kulurama Road, NW, Washington DC gangan ni. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀. Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally endorsed by Yoruba Self-Determination Group and Media. Olùkéde ìgbìmọ̀ Tajudeen O. Adéjamiu Aliaji Nono Banjo Ààrẹ Àlùmọ́rò Prọfẹ̀tà Ayọ̀délé Ológunlolúwa. Fún àlàyé síwájú sí www.megarally.org tàbí info@megarally.org. Olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá. Mo fi Ọlọ́run tó lẹ̀ mẹ́rin búra. Nìkan ò ní ṣe ọ́.
The super entitled because
Ìgbòho hero wa ni akọni tó ń jà fitafita kí Yorùbá ó lè kúrò lóko ẹrú ọ̀tá ẹ̀ ó kulẹ̀ jẹ́ ní. Yoruba Nation Diaspora Mega Rally. Gbé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjádò àgbáláyé láti wá darapọ̀ fún ìfẹ̀hónúhàn ọjọ́ kan láti kéde àtìlẹ́yìn fún olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho. Òòṣà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀kílẹ̀. Akọni ògúnnágbòǹgbò tí dátọ́ lẹ́nu ìgbé. One day peaceful solidarity protest for Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho from illegal detention by Republic of Benin government. Tó máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ kọkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2021 ní Benin Republic Embassy tó wà ní 2124 Kulurama Road, NW, Washington DC lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀. Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ń bẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè àgbáyé la pè. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ àtúnyáyá kátúnyáyá jáde. Kákéde àtìlẹ́yìn wa fún májàsọ́lá. Tíjọba Republic of Benin ti mọ́lé lọ́nà ìtọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè fún ìtúsílẹ̀. Ká béèrè fún ìdájọ́ òdodo. Bẹ́jà bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ní pèsúrò. Ológìní bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn yóò gbọdọ̀ ọ̀yà. Akíkanjú kan ò lè dógun sẹ́. Yóò bá sẹ́ látìlẹ́yìn fún. Ọ̀pọ̀ lé sófin yagi lóko. Ọ̀pọ̀ gírí ẹsẹ̀ ní yẹ̀nà. Ọ̀pọ̀ ikán ní ìmọ̀lé. Ọ̀pọ̀ oyin ní safárá. Ọ̀pọ̀ èrò àsìmágìyàn. Ìjọ àjùmọ̀jó ní gbáyé. Kíkọ́nijó ànìkànjó kọ́ni lẹ́sẹ̀. Agbòjọ́ kì í gbàjọ́ kan Èkìtì olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho ọ̀jẹ́bẹ̀ ọjọ́ kan ò pọ̀jù láti fílẹ̀ fún lóore wa ẹni tó fara rẹ̀ kalẹ̀ láti síwájú ìjìjàngbara fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tuntun ká lè wà ní àlàáfíà kí ìjínigbé ó lè dàfí sẹ́yìn ìfipábánilòpọ̀ ìfẹ́ranjẹko ìtẹ̀tọ́ ẹni mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́nà ìtọ́ kí gbogbo ẹ̀ ó lè dópin ijó àjùmọ̀jó ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ dídùn nìkan ṣoṣo kọ́rọ̀ wa má dàgbé ẹni tó fajá ẹ̀dẹ̀gbà ìkookò tọ́wá lọ rí dúró lókèrè tí ń wòran wọ́n fẹ́ pàdánù olóore rẹ̀ ní o àsùngbàgbé òní kàn mí October 29, 2021 níwájú Benin Republic Embassy 2124 Kulurama Road NW Washington DC gangan ni aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally endorsed by Yoruba Self-Determination Group and Media olùkéde ìgbìmọ̀ Tajudeen Adéjàmí ìgbìmọ̀ Banjo ààrẹ àlùmọ́rò Prophet Ayọ̀délé Ológunlolúwa fún àlàyé síwájú sí www.megarally.org tàbí info@megarally.org olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá mo fi Ọlọ́run tó lẹ̀ mẹ́rin búra nìkan ò ní ṣe ọ́.
Manner, they are well trained and they are
To fish in French waters and was seized. Well, the UK is threatening that, hey, you dare not do that. If you continue, we are going to be on offensive as well. It is Starr Radio UK. Now, moving on straight to some of their Starr stories making the rounds in other parts of the world. In Moscow, shops and restaurants shut in new lockdown. Russia closes non-essential services and sends workers home amid record COVID deaths. Wow, scary, scary, scary. Let me say good morning to Tosino in Moscow. Tosino, I hope you are keeping safe and doing well. And give us a shout out. Let us know that you are doing very, very well. I mean, the life of every one of our listeners is very essential to us. Okie dokie. Polls show rising demands for climate action ahead of the COP26. Polls find growing support for strong political leaders or leadership. But the question is, if price of goods and services are increasing in your country or your community, would you want to cough up for it? Somebody say it's better for us to suffer now and enjoy it in the future. Who told you that there's going to be any future? All right, then, Starr Radio UK. Now, New York schools have banned Squid Game Halloween costumes. The primary school have warned parents about the Netflix series Violent Messages. It's Starr Radio UK. Well, China is saying that, well, there's not going to be any more skyscrapers. The decision is being seen as part of a larger bid to crack down on vanity projects. Starr Radio UK. Global Trotting. General Miley's comments were the first U.S. acknowledgement of claim China tested a hypersonic missile. And that's what they're saying. Chinese launch very concerning, says U.S. General. And the DNA has confirmed a man is sitting Bull's great-grandson. A sample of the Native American leader's hair confirms the identity of his great-grandson. Well, it's interesting one there. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Now, moving on to the other parts of the world as well. Now, Israel has advanced plans for 3,000 new settlers' homes. The move follows a strong public rebuke of Israeli policy from U.S. President Biden's administration. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A Saudi prince suggested killing King ex-official Mohammed bin Salman discussed assasinating the late King Abdullah in 2014. Saad Al-Jabri says. Oh wow. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. 10:59 the time. At 11 o'clock, we have Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. But wherever you are, don't you go away. Just stay tuned. Now in South Africa, South Africa is to deploy 10,000 troops for local polls. The voters will on Monday elect municipal councillors and mayors in a test for the ANC. Still on the African front, African Union World Bank suspends Sudan over military coup. Now, was it last Monday or Tuesday when we were having a show, and then myself and Frank, we were discussing what the statement or the stance of the AU has been. But well, this morning our information has come through that they are also saying that they are suspending Sudan. It is already UK. Malian authorities have arrested Issa Kawo Njim, vice president of the country's interim parliament, for making subversive remarks on social media, two legal sources have said. Njim, an influential figure in the conflict-ridden Sahel state, was arrested in the capital Bamako on Tuesday, according to a court official who requested anonymity. The official added that the lawmaker was arrested over subversive remarks without offering further details. Well, we'll be following that story. The unrest in that part of the world is quite worrying, but we'll be bringing you more on that front. Well, in Ghana, retired midwives, 3 others busted over child stealing, sale of babies. I remember in the past few, I think months, or yeah, there have been this occurrences of babies missing, stolen, and stuff like that. Well, I think the security agencies have been able to bust a retired midwife and 3 others for child stealing. Let's see how that will resolve that issue. And then Kufuor respects chiefs. They didn't mean to attack Togbi Fiti. Samoa says. And then the Speaker of Parliament says, stop wasting your money on your constituents. Wagbin admonishes MPs. But you know that when it comes to our culture, our political culture, democratic culture, we always want to, what do you call them? The voters or constituents always want something from their reps before they vote for them. So, if they don't spend those monies, how do they get into power? If they spend those monies and they don't get voted in there, that is where Bagben is saying that, well, he is very worried about that because it makes some people, some ex-politicians, puppets later on in their lives. Well, it is already UK. This and a lot more we'll be looking at in the course of the program. But we're going to be taking a break. As I said earlier on, from 12 o'clock we'll be having a very, very special guest in the studio. He'll be gracing the studios with his presence in the name of Mr. Charles BISSUE. He's the Western Regional Secretary for the New Patriotic Party. Okay, so we take a quick break. We come back and we'll be having Ms. Olayomi Koiki joining in with updates from Nigeria. I am Archie, and this is Starr Radio UK, your Thursday edition of the morning show.
friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Starr, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hello, lovely listeners. Tune in to the renewed show with Charlotte. Make it a date to listen to me this and every Thursday at 5 p.m. on Starr Radio UK. Tune in to an hour of power, an hour of encouragement, an hour to inspire you to stay positive and strong in this season. See you there and listen.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Welcome back to the program. It is Starr Radio UK. It is the Thursday edition of the morning show. Yes, we should have Mr. Olayomi Koiki joining us pretty soon. But some of the stories that we'll be looking at from Nigeria this morning, let me bring you some of the headlines, and then once he comes on, we'll just be able to just go through them. Okay, so first and foremost, disrupting a Anambra election poses serious consequences. Oheneze tells IPOP, and then the Apex Igbo Social Cultural Organization, Oheneze Ndigbo, on Wednesday appealed to the indigenous people of Biafra to consider or reconsider the 7-day sit-at-home order in the southeast from November 5th to November 11th. Now, what do you think is going to be the reaction of the people in that part of Nigeria? Are they going to abide by it? So far, we know that they've been abiding by the rules of the IPOP, sitting at home on Mondays. But are they going to be sitting at home from the 5th to the 11th? Are we going to see that? Well, the Air Force officials on BRT lane killed Lagos artist of a family 200,000 naira. The family of an artist, Ifeanyi Kalu, has been thrown into mourning after personnel of the Nigerian Air Force accused of driving on the bus rapid transit lane crashed him in an accident. Well, what do you think is going to happen there? We're trying to get Mr. Olayomi Koiki on now. Yummy, call us back. Yummy, call us back. I think I missed your call. Call us back, and he's going to be throwing more light on that. After 48 hours, eNaira app removed from Google Store amid criticism. What? eNaira, that was something good, so that people don't need to carry huge sums of money when they're going to transact business. But hey, 48 hours on, and it's been removed. What do you think about all that? We'll be looking at those details in a moment. And I can tell you, we have got Mr. Olayomi Koiki, who is in our North London studios this morning, bringing you updates from Nigeria. So let me say good morning to you, Yummy.
Good morning back to you in the studio, and I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Loud and clear, loud and clear, loud and clear. We can hear you. Just bear with me. Okay. How are you doing, sir?
Well, so it's been a very beautiful morning. Doing very well after the great show yesterday with all our listeners from different part of the globe. We were saying thank you very much once again on Niger Voices. But I'm doing very well, as you can see, out again in the beautiful outskirts of North London, where we're transmitting from. And I say good morning again to those that are watching us from different parts of the globe.
Okay. Yes. Now, listeners, Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, bring you updates from Nigeria. Let's crack on. Now, first of all, the first story that we were looking at, the instructions by the IPOP that the indigenous people call it the Igbo area should stay at home from the 5th to the 11th of November. Now, first of all, how have they taken it? Do you think that they're going to abide by it? Especially looking at the man they sit down, which they have been abiding by it, like religiously. Do you think this time round for 6 days are they going to be able to do that?
Well, I mean, the belief of so many of the followers of the leader of the indigenous people, IPOP, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, believes that until the federal government release him unconditionally, then they might have to kickstart the 6-day sit at home, which I believe will start just I think around November the 4th, if the deadline given to the federal government. I'm not sure the federal government is going to listen to that. I mean, we've seen the effective of the sit at home. Where even some of the states, like Anambra State, have decided to move a Monday lecture to a Saturday morning lecture for most of the schools. It's not just the whole Southeast that goes paralyzed on Monday. Even the bank, and the government offices, because nobody's moving. Not because of any reason more than not that some of them want to sit at home. But when you look at the transport system that might be shut down, I mean, if you compare to UK as an example, in England, here in London, the transport system is controlled by the mayor of London, and you can easily say that there's no way a particular group or a particular individuals will shut down the transport system here in London. But it is the opposite in Nigeria. Most of the transport system in most part of the country is a private owned. So yes, I believe that those orders will be listened to. I've listened a video that have just come up to me just about some few minutes before coming on air, and as you know that some of the politicians are still campaigning. It's even to the extent that what I saw in that video is while the campaign of the PDP in a particular district in Anambra State, you could hear the sound of holy, holy, Nnamdi Kanu is another savior. And, the campaign just couldn't go ahead. We saw one of the other political parties took his campaign away from Anambra to Lagos State, and he was also bullied. So that tells you that, the election, November 6th, is going to be a very tough one between, the IPOP and the citizen and the federal government.
Interesting. Now, do you think that the citizens are taking it reluctantly, or they just love to, support Kanu, and that's why they are going on? Maybe because they are scared of what maybe the IPOP, the military wing, might do to them. That's why they decide to stay at home. Or do you think they are in full support? Majority of them, of course.
Well, I've listened to most of the the broadcast coming from the IPOP, and there is no one that have been told to attack anyone, whether those that prefer not to sit at home. It is kind of on your own free will. But most of them have decided to take it on board, to sit at home, while their leader is still being held, all the way in Abuja. So it is not that a lot of the citizens in Southeast are scared. It's just that they believe that sacrificing that one day, for the leader that have sacrificed more for them, it is worth sitting at home. So yes, there have been a lot of campaign, and I've seen even some individuals that try to attack during some of the sit at home that have commenced since Nnamdi Kanu has been brought back to Nigeria. But most of those individuals have also been punished, by those coordinating things in the Southeast. So it is not because the federal government has tagged them as a terrorist organization, but also it is because the federal government has done so in trying to portray them as the enemy of the state, rather than sitting down with them and dialogue with them and have a conversation. And those that are the real terrorists terrorizing millions of Nigerians, the federal government refused to categorize them as the real terrorists.
Okay, listeners, Starr Radio UK, Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. Now, interestingly, this sad story about some military, the Nigerian Air Force, driving on the wrong side of the road, crashing somebody, and paying the family 200,000 naira. Now, that amount, is it? Do you think that it compensates what action they took, or what happened there?
Well, what is 200,000 naira? Let's just bring that, to what the exchange rate, this morning, which is about 785 naira. So you're looking at just about 270 pounds given to somebody that has been killed, by the security or the Air Force officials on one of the public transportation in Nigeria. It's quite sad that it's not the first time that such incident has happened. But what we can tell you is that the family of an artist known as Ifeanyi Kalu has been thrown into mourning after the personnel of the Nigerian Air Force accused of driving on the bus rapid transit lane in Lagos crushed him. And you would wonder that, these are the kind of, the corruption, that everybody puts on, especially those in uniform in Nigeria, thinking that, they are more superior, they are more better off than the average Nigerian. So what do we know? According to information, Ifeanyi was on his way to work in Ilukweju area of Lagos State when this incident happened. His remains have been deposited at the mortuary at the Nigerian Air Force base in Lagos. Describing Ifeanyi's death as a big loss to his family, one of the actors, Segun Adefila, said he was killed 2 months after his mother's death. He noted that the 31-year-old left behind 6 siblings, a father. In a post on his Facebook page, Adefila wrote, Ifeanyi was a young Nigerian artist who was in a stature but gigantic in stride. His life was one huge struggle for survival without a thought for crime, but through a dent of hard work. This is just an average Nigerian trying to struggle within the confinement of a country where inflation has risen, insecurity, and he wasn't killed by terrorists, but he was killed by a man in uniform representing the federal government of Nigeria.
Well, somebody will say it was an accident that happened. It wasn't deliberate. So we'll see what happens on that front. But it is Starr Radio UK. Let's go back to Yomi for some more of the updates from Nigeria. Over to you, Yomi.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Archie. 28th of October 2021 is exactly 17 minutes past the hour on a very beautiful outskirt of London, where we are reporting from this morning. It is just under 3 days before the National Working Committee of the PDP change over. There's a lot of issues around it as well. PDP moves to save convention pressure as secondos over suit. The People's Democratic Party has yet to file a response to the appeal filed by suspended chairman Uche Secondos before the Court of Appeal in Port Harcourt, according to information. At the last hearing on Tuesday, the PDP lawyer asked for time to respond to the appeal filed by the Secondos, but the court refused to grant their request, stating that the suit was time-bound in view of the National Convention of the party, which is scheduled for this weekend to be held on Saturday and Sunday. The court consequently gave opposition party 24 hours to file it. According to the INEC, you must change over these national bodies within each of the political parties, and there's still wrangling between some of these actors in this political party. Let's take a look at some of the other headlines. $418 million deductions suspended as federal government statement effect today. There was a strong indication yesterday that the federal and the state government had agreed to the suspension of the deduction of almost $480 million Paris Club refund from the state and the local government account pending the determination of a court case. What do we know? The Paris refund came to Nigeria. Some of the money was distributed, across, each of the, 36 states. But eventually, those that, like a consultation fee that should have been paid, is now why that $480 million is stuck somewhere. According to the information, it was, however, not clear if the decision to suspend the deduction would affect the October revenue collection, but it was gathered that the federal government had already issued promissory note on the consultant to pay. The Ekiti State Commissioner for Finance, Akin, that issue of deduction had been resolved. The commissioner, who did not give details of the resolution, also confirmed that the FEC would either meet, which was yesterday or today, Thursday. He also reiterated the demand of the state for the separation of the Office of Accountant General and also the Federation of the Office of Accountant General of the federal government. So what I'm trying to explain there is, money that was returned back, it seems somehow, the government is trying now to deduct that money back from some of the states, and some of those states are not really pleased with that as well. So that is, what it means. The country in 2006 paid $12 billion to get $18 billion debt write-off by the Paris Club of International Creditors. State and local government that did not hold the Paris Club later asked for a refund when they realized that the payment was made directly from the revenue accruing to the entire federation. There were reports that some consultants would claim a percentage of the refund as payment for services. They said they rendered to the state, and the local government went to court to demand it. The federal government had negotiated an out-of-court settlement with the contractors to the tune of $480 million was agreed on the judgment. So that's just the background, to that particular headline. Let's touch on two other headlines, and I'm going to come back again to you in the studio as we continue. Buhari has strong will to fight corruption in Nigeria. During the presentation of a paper titled Anti-Corruption Legislation, Policies and Practices, how they align with the UNECA Anti-Bribery Convention and other regional conventions on preventing and combating corruption at the 26th Interpol Global Program on Financial Crimes and Asset Recovery in Abuja. We saw that has been trending on the social media now. A bra that was meant to belong to the former petroleum minister designing worth almost some tune of $12 billion dollars. And you wonder how $12 million rather, staggering amount of money that was stolen during our tenure as the petroleum minister. She ended up buying some of the most expensive bras around the globe, and this is now going into auction according to the federal government. I'll come back again in one more, and then we look into some of those conversations. It's exactly 22 minutes past. This is still Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Crisis. Osinbajo, the Vice President of Nigeria, lawmakers and others lead national prayer today. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the leadership of the National Assembly, led by President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, the ministers, leaders in political, religious, and economic spheres, and hundreds of Christians drawn from various parts of the country are expected to attend the annual Christian Legislator Fellowship National Breakfast Prayer meeting scheduled for today. The prayer section with the theme, Faith in Christ in Time of Crisis, will take place at the National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Addressing the newsmen, the CLF President, Senator Emmanuel Fawachi, the Taraba Senator representing PDP, disclosed that Bishop David Abioye of the Living Faith Chapel will be the guest speaker. He explained that the team was chosen to find solution to economic, political, social, and many other challenges currently bedeviling the country. So again, Osinbajo, lawmakers will be leading prayer today to resolve some of the economic, political, and insecurity in Nigeria. Starr Radio UK, your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Interesting headlines from Nigeria. But the vice president is organizing prayer meeting. He's going to be part of it. He's not the one organizing per se. It is something that they've been doing. How long have they been doing this?
Well, this has been going on for some time now, and even the president, according to report coming from Saudi Arabia, is also doing similar as well, praying for the insecurity, economic, of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So I might just want to touch on that, then we can look at it all together. According to what we are getting from, remember the president is still in Saudi Arabia as we speak right now, but the information coming from Saudi Arabia says Buhari enter the Saudi mosque, pray for Naira to appreciate, banditry to end.
Yomi, I can't contain my laughter. Well, when we know the measures that have to be taken to make sure that things are stopped, we don't do that, and we just want to just say, okay, no, let's bury our heads in the sand and just go to the temples to go and pray. Then I get very, very worried. People perish for lack of knowledge. You have the knowledge, you know what to do, you got to get on with it. But well, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Maybe somewhere, somehow, that will hold the Naira up, to prop the Naira up, and then the insecurity issue that is going on in Nigeria will also stop. But whatever it is Starr Radio UK. Don't touch the dial. We'll still have Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you more on that front. But insecurity, Governor Bello wants military operation extended to Niger State. Now,
Niger State.
Yeah. Why? Is it now getting to a point where they want to just, like we were saying the other time, that they should, some of the governors were saying it should be labeled as terrorism so that now we can get the military full attention on it. Do you think that is what he's calling for there as well?
Well, I mean, when we look at Niger State, just as so many states, among the 36 states in Nigeria, it has also been riddled with so many atrocity of the terrorists within the boundaries of that state as well. Just some few days ago, terrorist Niger State senator asked security agency to invite Sheikh Gumi, that have said that if you label them as terrorists, you would eventually have to expect more jihadis influx into the country, which they already as well. Some 20 hours ago, terrorists demanded 60 million naira to free Niger State worshippers. Again, about 3 days ago, the resident lament as terrorists kidnapped 10 persons in Niger State. Some almost 18 persons reportedly lost their life when terrorists attacked a mosque in Mazakuku in Niger State just this week, Monday, the 25th of October. So you can see why, the governor is saying now it is time to also extend more security personnel to the state as well. But what the government is actually doing is, rather than put a security architect in the northeast and the northwest where there's pressure, they are moving the security to the southeast to suppress those they label as the IPOB members.
Okay, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. You can post your comments on our Facebook page, or you can text or WhatsApp it to us, and I promise you we're going to read that. Okay, but let's move on to some of the other stories making the rounds there as well. The federal FCT warns traditional rulers against influx of foreign miners. Now in Ghana, we've had this problem where they are claiming the Chinese are there doing illegal mining, which we call it galamsey and stuff like that. Is it the same thing that is happening in Nigeria, and that's why this FCT is calling for warning the traditional rulers?
Well, I mean, we've seen influx of different people coming into Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria has about almost close to 2,000 porous border. What does that mean? You can literally walk into Nigeria from other neighboring country, no check by immigration, no check by anyone, and you could live in Nigeria, and then nobody knows where you're coming from. I remember during my stay when we were in Nigeria for that 6 months, we were traveling from some of our remote area, and I had that evidence. I have the video, still in my archive with me. And we released a statement at that time. We were able to see almost 10 different nationalities living within the axis of Okeogun. And what were they doing? They were doing what we call kusa. Kusa in the Yoruba, translating back to English, is gold mining. Mm-hmm. So you can tell that, and some of them were as far as coming from Senegal. They're Senegalese. Some were coming from Niger. And the question then is, how did they get into the country in the first place? So according to that headline, the Federal Capital Territory Minister for State, Dr. Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, has cautioned graded traditional rulers in the FCT against harboring any foreigner in the guise of mining activities. She said such could create security threat within their respective domain. And this was what was actually happening as well within some of the Yoruba land as well. Like I said, I remember vividly well, visited this particular ballet, with Chief Sunday IGBOHO during that time. And, the question was, how do you allow people to continue to mine and create more havoc to some of the farmers within the boundary? Because what actually happened was, the reason why we went there was about 5 people were killed a day before, after we went there. The killings happened on a Sunday. We went there on a Monday, and the reason why those farmers were killed was because those that were digging those particular areas just did not want anybody within the axis. We paid a costly visit to the ballet to explain to him why they've allowed people, to continue to mine. What he was able to tell us was some of them have been known within the community, but they've also allowed more people to join them that the community does not know. So that becomes a security threat. And this is what is happening, as the FCT minister is saying, not just in FCT, it's happening in the Yoruba land, it's happening in the southeast of the country, and this is creating a lot of havoc. When you go to Zamfara State, they are literally doing all the mining that the governor has agreed to, and saying that the mining of gold there belongs to Zamfara, does not belong to any other state. And that has also created more killings in that region of the northeast as well.
Wow, interesting. We saw that happening in Ghana, and the government had to, crack the whip to make sure that people do things the right way. But listeners, it is Starr Radio UK, 11:31 from London here with Mr. Olayomi in our North London studios. Let me say good morning, or he says good afternoon. Tosino Nash Olayomi, all the way in Moscow. Tosino, how are you doing? He said we are in real mess in that country. He's talking about Nigeria there. Tosino, I hope you are quarantining, or whether you are protecting yourself there, because we've heard that there's a rise in the COVID infection in Russia. So we say, take good care of yourself there. But let me go back to Yomi for some of the other stories and what is going on the social media platform. Over to you, Yomi.
124 years after Cambridge University hands over Benin bronze cookery to Nigeria, okuko stolen from the ancient kingdom in 1897 by the British colonial forces. The Jesus College at Cambridge University, London, has handed over to Nigeria the okuko, a sculpture that was looted by the British troops in 1897, setting a precedent expected to put pressure on other institutions to return stolen artifacts. The handing over documents were signed yesterday during a ceremony at the college to transfer ownership of the okuko to the Nigerian delegation. London-based Daily Mail reported that the sculpture of the cookery was one of hundreds of the Benin bronze piled from the Kingdom of Benin in Nigeria. The college legacy of slavery working party concluded in 2019 that the cookery belongs to the current owners at the court of Benin. Shedding more light on this development in the brief telephone conversation yesterday, the Minister of Information, Lai Mohammed, said the campaign to return stolen artifacts commenced in 2018. Lai Mohammed said he had traveled to London to engage the Secretary of Art and Culture over the Ife bronze, which was stolen from the museum in Jos and was thereafter sold to an art collector in Belgium. You can see how, stolen of some of these artifacts have been moving from one part of the continent to the other as well. So let's go straight to some of what is happening on the social media today. It doesn't seem to be going well with the e-naira, as there's a lot of complaint around the e-naira, and that means a lot of people putting that complaint has now put Google to remove the application out of their Play Store as we speak right now. So that is not going well with the federal government, I guess. But let's look at some of the other headline as well. According to this, see this man is called Senator Effiong, a senator from Eket Senatorial District, who said insecurity in Nigeria is exaggerated. It looks like people are just talking about it. That is not the actual situation on ground. But I can confirm that the Nigerians are now sleeping with their two eyes closed under Buhari. Well, he has been kidnapped now for more than 2 months, dead or alive. Nobody knows where he is. This was a senator that was saying the media, the citizens were just, putting a kind of too much emphasis on the situation on ground. 2 months down the line, nobody knows where he is as we speak right now. Also, top ISIS commander to visit ISWAP Lake Chad bases to support terror in Nigeria. That is also coming from the headline as well. I've listened to one of the interview of the legal representative of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu that flew from America in terms of the support and why he is on ground to facilitate and look into the reason why the Nigerian government kidnapped and the rendition. So that interview is worth looking into as well. Also coming up, the beautiful Okoko bronze being returned to Nigeria today, stolen in 1897 by the British colonial forces. I'm going to send a picture of that to you so that maybe you can be able to put it out there for those that might want to have a better look at it in terms of what it looks like. It's more like a hen, a cockerel. So I'm sure for those that might want to have a good view. I mean, it's good to know that these items that was stolen as far back as 1897 has finally returned to where it belongs, which is not United Kingdom, but rather belongs to the community that owns it as well. So let's take maybe 2 more, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio, and then we can start winding down as well. There's a picture that I've got here in front of me, and the conversation around it says, in Nigeria, when you see policemen with a young man at the cash machine, the police are extorting him, robbing him of his money, and that is then emptying his bank account. So there's a 2 police officer with a young man next to the ATM machine, and I'm sure you all understand what that means. And the last one that I've got here again says, we talked about the United Nations requesting more background to why Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, rendition from Kenya, from Nigeria as well. Why is the Inera media team using a Twitter account from 2015 to front a project launched in 2021? And why are they using Twitter when Twitter is officially banned in Nigeria? What sort of anyhowness is that with a question mark?
Listeners, it is interesting coming from Nigeria. But when it comes to that, the Okoko, okay, where is it going to be kept? Is it going to be kept in the state, the federal museum, if they have anything of the sort, or is it going to go to the original owners? That is,
when
the
these
BENIN
items are returned, it's definitely going to be returned back to the palace or somewhere within the palace where it's going to be kept. And then that way it can have more preservation and security around it as well. Because I'm sure, returning it back to Nigeria might also have some interest of element of people that might want to take it back again and sell it up back again to the Western world.
Well, listen, Starr Radio UK. Let me read some of the comments that have come through. Totino says everywhere is calm, but always put your face masks. That's crazy. He's talking about what is happening in Moscow, where he is at the moment, pertaining to the COVID. Yeah, he said, I laugh in Chinese. Okay, I laugh in Chinese. Everything about Nigeria is a scam. Oh my goodness. And then from Sotikari Ayodele Tunde, he says, Starr Radio UK, you must understand that this station is one of the reliable and true stations we listen to. Thank you very much. Please, is there any information the people that were killed in IGBOHO's house as per truth justice? When I finish, I think Yomi might be able to throw more light if there have been any information pertaining to that. Those 2 people,
the bodies or the 12?
The two who were killed. Is asking.
Well, I mean, from information, we've listened to interview of one of those that were taken away with the DSS and the Nigerian security during the assassination attempt on Chief Sunday Igboho's house on July 1st by the federal government of Nigeria. He has explained to us after being interviewed what happened actually. When they came into the premises, there was no exchange of guns with the authority when they came into the Igboho's house, as against what the TSS was telling Nigerians during their own press conference. Also, the 2 individuals that were killed, one of them was just about to have his prayer at that time in the morning as a Muslim, which is probably what we call a night vigil prayer. And he was shot dead and the other one was hit with a multiple, mortar until he eventually died. What he then said was, two of those bodies moved with them as well when after the operation of about 4 hours at Sunday IGBOHO's house, while he was able to escape, even though they wanted to kill him in the house, they got to Ekiti State at the DSS office. The vehicle that had the dead bodies drove out of the premises, and then by the time he returned back, the dead bodies were not there. So the individual that spoke to that media says he's particularly sure that the two dead bodies might be kept in the mortuary in Ekiti State, which is the southwest of the country in Nigeria. The question then is, why is the dead body of those that were killed without exchange gunfire with the federal with the authority that came into the house are still being kept in somewhere in probably in Ekiti, or maybe they've moved it again. But the question then is, when are they going to release the dead body? 12 of those have been released. The last two spent 114 days. One of them was a female, and the only offense that she has committed was using her social media to enlighten, to educate, and discuss the issues surrounding Nigeria and telling the Yorubas to go into self-determination. That is what our offense. After 114 days, we can only say we give thanks that she's back now, but the two dead bodies is still in the hand of the federal government of Nigeria. Okay, so Tikari, so I hope that we, it answers some of the questions that you posed. We'll try to do some more investigation as and when we find some more information, we're putting it across. Thank you very, very much. Yami, before you go. Well, don't touch the dial. Remember to keep tuned to Starr Radio UK, and later on tonight is going to be the property hour. Make sure you tune in as well. But if you're sending money home to Nigeria, remember to use send waves. Remember to use the Starr code, which is X for Starr, R for Radio. And for me, I'll be back again tomorrow. But for now, I say have a very good morning from wherever you're watching. Good morning to you, Yomi. Well, listeners, it is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. As I announced earlier on, with the time now 11:41, we'll be having our special guest who is already in the house. He's already in the house. He will be joining us pretty soon, just after 12 o'clock. But at the moment, I've got with me my colleague and co-presenter, Mr. Frank Davis, in the house as well. Let me acknowledge him and then we go on. Frank, morning to you.
Archie, good morning and good morning to our listeners. Allow me to thank you for the good job.
How are you?
Archie, I'm doing very well.
Let me say good morning to Charlotte as well. Yeah. She's sending lots so that I can see the light. Charlotte Odum, good morning to you. Yes. He said the Renew Show is live today. Yeah. Yes, the Renew Show will be live exactly at 5 o'clock with Charlotte Odum. Okay. Did you follow the...
Yes, I followed the submission and the news. One that I wanted to pick on more was the situation that is happening fast in what they call Moscow. The lockdown. We understand that like they've gone to a lockdown again. Do not forget, this is a country that developed it through vaccine. And like all other countries, we saw Israel that had a vaccine or was hailed as the front line when it came to vaccination. Vaccinating about 99% of its population earlier on, celebrating Pfizer, had to come back to lock down and take certain measures. So
Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally pé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá jákèjádò àgbáláyé láti wá darapọ̀ fún ìfẹ̀hónúhàn ọjọ́ kan láti kéde àtìlẹ́yìn fún olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho òòṣà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀kílẹ̀ akọni ògúnnágbòǹgbò tí dátọ́ lẹ́rùn ìgbé one day peaceful solidarity protest for Chief Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho from illegal detention by Republic of Benin government tó máa wáyé lọ́jọ́ kọkàndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹwàá ọdún 2021 ní Benin Republic Embassy tó wà ní 2124 Kulurama Road NW Washington DC lórílẹ̀‐èdè Amẹ́ríkà aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tí ń bẹ lórílẹ̀‐èdè àgbáyé la pè ẹ̀jẹ̀ àtúnyáyá kátúnyáyá jáde kákéde àtìlẹ́yìn wa fún májàsọ́lá tíjọba Republic of Benin ti mọ́lé lọ́nà ìtọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká béèrè fún ìtúsílẹ̀ ká béèrè fún ìdájọ́ òdodo bẹ́ẹ̀ bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn ní pèsúrò ológì ní bá lẹ́ni lẹ́yìn yóò gbọdọ̀ ọ̀yà akíkanjú kan ò lè dógun sẹ́ yóò bá sẹ́ látìlẹ́yìn fún ọ̀pọ̀ lé sófin yagi lóko ọ̀pọ̀ gírí ẹsẹ̀ ní yẹ̀nà ọ̀pọ̀ ikán ní ìmọ̀lé ọ̀pọ̀ oyin ní safárá ọ̀pọ̀ èrò àsìmágìyàn ìlú àjùmọ̀jó ní gbáyé níyì. Kíkọ́ni jó ànìkànjó kọ́ni lẹ́sẹ̀. Agbòòjọ́ kì í gbàjọ́ kan tì. Olóyè Sunday Ìgbòho ọ̀dẹ́bẹ̀. Ọjọ́ kan ò pọ̀jù láti fílẹ̀ fólóore wa. Ẹni tó fara rẹ̀ kalẹ̀ láti síwájú ìjìjàngbara fún orílẹ̀-èdè Yorùbá tuntun. A lè wà ní àlàáfíà. Kí ìjínigbé ó lè dàfí sẹ́yìn. Ìfipábánilòpọ̀, ìfẹ́ranjẹko, ìtẹ̀tọ́ ẹni mọ́lẹ̀ lọ́nà ìtọ́. Kí gbogbo ẹ̀ ó lè dópin. Ijó àdùmọ̀jó ọ̀gbọ́dọ̀ dídó nìkan ṣoṣo. Kọ́rọ̀ wa má dàgbé ẹni tó fajá ẹ̀dẹ̀gbẹ́ kòkò. Tọ́wá lọ rí dúró lókèrè tí ń wòran. Wọ́n fẹ́ pàdánù olóore rẹ̀ ní o. Àsùngbàgbé òní kàn mí. October 29, 2021 níwájú Benin Republic Embassy 2124 Kulurama Road NW Washington DC gangan ni. Aago 9 òwúrọ̀ ni yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀. Yorùbá Nation Diaspora Mega Rally endorsed by Yoruba Self-Determination Group and Media. Olùkéde ìgbìmọ̀ Tajudeen O Adejamiu Aliaji Nono Banjo Ààrẹ Àlùmọ́rò Prọfẹ̀tà Ayọ̀délé Ológunlolúwa. Fún àlàyé síwájú sí www.megarally.org tàbí info@megarally.org. Olóyè Sunday Adéyẹmọ Ìgbòho ṣá. Mo fi Ọlọ́run tó lẹ̀mí mi búra. Ẹnìkan ò ní ṣe ọ́.